We're at Wildwood Baseball Park, where this afternoon Sheboygan North plays a key conference baseball game against Green Bay Notre Dame. Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Martin, and joining me is Commissioner of the Fox River Valley, Bill Richards. Bill, this is a key game for Sheboygan North.
Yeah, if North wants to make a little noise as far as catching Notre Dame, they're going to have to win tonight. And as you know, South beat Notre Dame last week, and North beat them, and maybe they're feeling the pressure a little bit.
Now, this afternoon, they're going to start Ryan Schmitz, and North as a team is coming off a no-hit performance by Lucas Wilsing, but Schmitty's a pretty good pitcher.
He's had a couple good outings lately. Obviously, if Lucas had a no-hitter, then you weren't jinxing him in the booth.
That's for sure. It's a good thing we weren't doing that game. Southwest comes in there 5-6, but they lost the first time around to North, so a little payback for them if they can.
Well, as you said, Schmitty beat him the first time out, and but I'm sure that they're anxious to get back at us, and pretty windy tonight, so you never know what kind of a factor that's going to be.
Well, we're going to step out right now because they're getting ready to start the baseball game, and we want to get up in the booth where it's nice and warm. So we're going to step out for a short break. When we come back, we'll have the opening pitch for this afternoon's game. Sheboygan A's baseball is baseball the way it was meant to be played. A's baseball features hard-hitting action, a family atmosphere, and fan-friendly excitement. The 2006 season is about to begin, and you can be part of every game by becoming a member of the Sheboygan Athletic Club. As an Athletic Club member, you'll be part of one of the finest amateur baseball programs in the Midwest. Receive free admission for all 2006 A's home games, are entitled to reduced prices at the concession stand, and will develop friendships that will last a lifetime. To learn more, contact the Sheboygan Athletic Club at 458-4377 or log on to sheboyganbaseball.org.
Across America, service learning is helping students improve their grades and their communities by connecting the classroom with community service. Working together, students solve real problems, build new skills, and apply their knowledge in a whole new way. Inside the classroom and out, service learning opens new doors and brings learning to life. Get your school involved. Visit learnandserve.gov to find out how.
Go anywhere. Do anything. The power is yours. Cordless power. But be cool with your cordless power. If you've got old rechargeable batteries hanging around, take them in to be recycled. It's easy, and it's good for the environment. Check us out online, or give us a call at 1-800-8-BATTERY to learn more.
Getting ready to throw the first pitch for Sheboygan North. There you see him on the mound is Ryan Schmitz. Leading off for Green Bay Southwest is Ryan Pigeon. Pigeon takes that first pitch on the inside for a ball. Schmitty comes in with 42 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 15 runs, only 9 of those earned. His ERA is 1.47. Like we mentioned in the opening, he beat Southwest first time around by a score of 5-2. Went the distance, giving up only 6 hits and striking out 6. Pigeon has a 1-1 count. Bill Richards limping in the booth. It's a long walk, especially when you got to stop and talk to the umpires.
Well, I'll have my win by the third inning. Then the fans have to look out.
We got a lot of interesting information we can share with the fans as we go through the broadcast. We got some seating information for the tournaments. Schmidt's breaking pitch is inside again, evens the count at 2-2. Another good breaking ball, but dips down low.
Yeah, he wanted to offer at it and held back, which was good because, as you say, it was downstairs.
Schmitz brought the heat, but couldn't get it in the zone and winds up walking Pigeon to lead off the ball game. And that brings up Andy Bost. Or is it Bost? What are we going with here, Ellen? Boast.
Well, that's something that you're really good at, and that's boasting.
Well, I don't know about that, Coach. Not much to boast about.
Well, we'll have to see if Southwest is anxious to get a running game going with their leadoff man on, and I guess probably the bane of all managers is having to watch that leadoff man get a base on balls.
What's even worse than that is when you have the pitcher leading off an inning and they walk. Pigeon getting a nice lead, and Schmitz with a good move over to first, but not quite in time. Lucas Wilsing there, you see him number 5 playing first for North. He chucked that no-hitter it was Tuesday night up in Green Bay.
Yeah, he's come back, as we were talking a couple of weeks ago. He's come back from an arm injury and obviously is doing well.
A couple of number 5s out there at first base, Coach.
That's a good hand.
I'll tell you, Ryan is very concerned with that runner at first base. He's getting a good lead over there, too. Pitches in there for a strike. Makes the count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed, Mike, more and more, is that the pitchers in high school ball seem to be really, really conscious of the base runners.
Maybe too much.
Well, that's it.
Ball gets by Trilling into the dirt. It'll be a wild pitch. That'll move Pigeon up a base.
But that's part of it. When you're thinking about him, you're not thinking about the target.
We could announce that now, but it won't really matter, will it? Scott just gave me an announcement here, Coach. Tonight's game is going to be on at 7:30, but by the time they see it, it's not going to. But we can tell people, the fans and things as we leave after the game, because I know they always have questions about when the replays are going to happen.
Yeah, the Nielsen ratings have been pretty high lately.
They have been. I think it's all attributed to your presence in the booth, Coach. I mean, we never used to get those kind of ratings when Wright was up here. Oop, better not say that. His wife is right next to us.
Well, I think when they watch it late at night, it just puts them to sleep, and they don't have to take any pills that way.
Yeah, really. I've had many a fans go to sleep with me. And that's walk number 2. Right.
Well,
looking at these stats that Chris gave us, Ryan's has 20 walks and 42 and 2/3 innings, Coach. He's got a 6-1 record.
That's quite a few walks. That's
pretty good. About 1 every 2. That's more than you'd like.
Yeah.
But he does have 41 strikeouts.
Well, he seems to be working the outside corner pretty much and not missing by a lot.
Pitches in the dirt. Nice stop by Ben Trilling. Keep the runners at first and second. Pigeon is on at second. Andy Bost is on at first.
Yeah, Drew is a really versatile athlete for Southwest. Football, basketball, and had a lot of votes as an all-conference end in football, and was probably their leading scorer in basketball.
Drew Vanderlyn is who we're talking about, and I had Southwest in a doubleheader earlier this year against South, and Vanderlyn is quite a leader out there, Coach. I mean, he talks a lot, and keeps guys into the game, and played shortstop one game and pitched the other. He had a great shot of Ryan Schmitz out on the mound.
Well, he's batting third, and a lot of managers and coaches will put their best sticker at the 3 spot, so we know he's pretty good. We're going to have that conference now, and where everybody gets to meet each other and get introduced. And
yeah, I think that Chris is talking about more than introductions. He wants his pitcher to start throwing strikes. Vanderlyn, by the way, Coach mentioned he's hitting third. He's also playing short tonight. Eric Ives is the starting pitcher for Southwest. John Jagler is the coach for Green Bay. He asked me, I went up to ask him if I could get some information. He said, "You umping today?" And when I said no, he seemed kind of happy.
Well, you told him that you can still umpire from up here, right?
Yeah. All right, the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. There are no outs. Southwest has runners on first and second. Vanderlyn pops that pitch straight back and off the screen.
He with a shortstop and second baseman protecting that against that runner at second, you leave some pretty big holes.
Ryan Lienhardt is out at second. Mitchell Gardner, sophomore, is at short. Over at third base is Peter Reschke, and we mentioned Wilsing over at first. In the outfield for the Raiders, Alex Binder in left, Brad Schmitz in center, and Nate Hummich in right. Runners going, Trilling with a strong throw.
Yeah, we got 2 men at second.
Well, 2 guys on second, you can only have 1 on a base. And the umpire called the trail runner out, which is the correct play. So we do have 1 out, but a runner still on second. Vanderlyn, I believe, struck out, Coach.
I guess there was so much going on that it wasn't a real good pitch, I guess, and we got excited watching the double steal, and they need to get those base runners in a little tighter pickles, so to speak.
Yeah. So Pigeon remains at second base. Andy Boast is out. Advancing to second. Vanderlyn was a strikeout victim. So there's 2 outs and a man on second.
Yeah, that could be the first key play of the game anyway.
Rich Hummich and Mel Hummich down below us. Now, Mel must be related to Rich, huh? Mel Hummich's son Jerry was the great baseball player for North many years ago. Has an award named after him, actually.
Yes, he does. Jerry was arguably the best pitcher that North has ever had, and I think that whenever you mention that, he would be one of the 2 or 3 that you would mention.
Right. And he was inducted into the North High Hall of Fame a couple years back.
Right.
One and one is the count.
Yeah, I'm guessing that Mel might be great uncle or uncle.
Yep. Rich, sitting next to Mel, is his son is playing out in right. Other pitch is low, and Schmitty's still having trouble finding a plate, Coach.
Yeah, he's outside and doesn't seem really comfortable. I don't know if they need to re-rake in front of that mound, in front of the rubber. That looked pretty good.
Breaking pitch must have been a little outside, and that loads the count. We were off before when I mentioned 1 and 1. Right now, the correct count is 3 balls and 2 strikes to Joe Perez.
Cleanup hitter.
Yeah, slow roller to third. Peter Reschke with a strong throw to first gets the runner, and that ends the first inning for Southwest. They get no runs, no hits, 1 man left. At the end of a half inning of play, Southwest nothing, North coming to bat.
Is a killer. After I was diagnosed, I didn't feel sick, so I didn't listen to my doctor. Then it struck. I had a heart attack, then a stroke, and I was only 49.
Most people with diabetes also have high blood pressure and cholesterol, which can cause severe heart damage. In fact, 2 out of 3 people with diabetes die from heart disease or stroke.
Don't let diabetes destroy your life.
Call for your free diabetes survival guide. Choose to live.
You see Coach Chris Wright talking to the umpires on the right-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, he wasn't, I think two things. He wasn't sure about the call in the sense that I guess they said that he missed him going back, pigeon back in. But on the other hand, I don't think he was also totally satisfied with the way the Raiders executed the pickle.
No.
So he had all kinds of things. He was out of the dugout pretty fast.
The one thing I thought North did real well was, they got the ball ahead of the runner, Trilling with a good throw down the third, and then they ran him back. And once he saw the guy on first was standing on second, then he didn't.
It pretty much relaxes you in the sense that you're going to get one of them.
Right.
And you're not probably going to get both of them.
And when there are two guys standing on a base, the trail runner is the guy that's called out.
Yeah.
But you know what might have happened is maybe one of them wasn't on the base.
Well, that could be too.
Then it reverts. You have to tag somebody.
Just tag everybody, as somebody said one time, Tommy Lasorda or something.
Yeah.
Let them sort it out.
Alex Binder, the left fielder, is going to be leading off for Sheboygan North. Binder steps in with a .217 batting average. He has 10 hits and 46 at-bats.
I watched this pitcher warm up, and he appears to be obviously very somewhat inexperienced, I would think, and we'll see what kind of control he has. I'll watch him throw about 40 straight strikes, but he was kind of all over the place when he was warming up.
He's a left-hander, so you got to like that part about it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's certain.
I mentioned to you when we were walking out to do the opening that we had just started baseball unit over at Jefferson. We broke out the gloves and things for the kindergartners, and they had a good time with it, as did most of the kids. But my collection of gloves, out of the collection, probably 35% of them are left-handed. I mean, at what population do you see a 35% left-handed rate?
Just you and I, and Rick Rice, and we don't know a lot of them. But
there's a few out there, but the point is we got far more left-handed gloves than we need over at Jefferson. So if you got a right-handed glove that you don't need, send it our way.
Well, the great thing about you having those kindergartners out is you can finally bat cleanup.
Right, yeah, and they don't argue. Although there's always going to be one that will.
Well, that's the one that doesn't make it through the class, right?
That's right. Full count pitch to Binder, and he pops it up on the infield. The pitcher, Ives, looks a little shaky, but he squeezes it for the out.
Well, as we said a week ago in a telecast, that really isn't the pitcher's ball, but I didn't see those guys making those corner infielders making a real strong move like they wanted part of it.
No. Batting second is Ryan Schmitz, the pitcher. Schmitz steps in, hitting .318. He's got 16 hits and 51 at-bats. 3 of those hits are doubles.
Interesting how many curveballs we've seen already from Ives.
He likes the breaking ball, that's for sure. Schmitz hammers one to center field. Racing back, not able to get it, is Boast. Schmitz cruises into second with a stand-up double.
Looked like the ball that Jeff Jenkins hit last night to win the game.
I was thinking the same thing.
And, of course, Jeff Jenkins had the game-winning hit today.
Double down the line?
Yep, they've won 16 games at home, and 14 of them they've been behind in the game.
As much as you don't like the home team behind, it sounds like a good recipe for the Brewers this year.
Well, I think the fans will start to, they're getting more energized. And
Lucas Wilsing steps in. Coach, he's hitting .353 on the year and has 5 doubles, a triple, and a home run, so he's pounding the ball. Takes that first pitch for a strike on the outside corner. Also has 18 RBIs, which leads the club.
Well, he last year with his bad arm, they obviously still had him in the lineup too because of his bat.
Another breaking pitch hangs up high. Evens the count at 1-1. Ryan Schmitz out at second. We have 1 out. Lucas Wilsing, the number 3 hitter, at the plate. Haul that one straight back. Looked like he might have been trying to go to left field with that pitch.
Well, there's a lot of room there, and the second baseman's out on the grass.
Yeah, third baseman close to the bag. There's a huge opening at shortstop. Hung that inside pitch, and Wilson hammers it across New Jersey Avenue.
Diamond number 1.
Exactly. You don't want to hang a pitch to Lucas. He'll rip it. Vanderlyn positioned himself at second base, and Ives made a strong move, but Schmitz got back.
Yeah, basically that's a timing play. They'll have a signal on, and the pitcher will count it and turn on 2 and throw it.
Wilson pops it up in the foul ground and dropping the ball.
Schmitty's going to go to third. Well, he must have called him out. He's in foul territory, wasn't he?
Well, everybody's got to go back. What happened was the first baseman drifted back, made the catch, and fell down as he was catching it, and then it popped out of his glove, which makes it a no play, just a foul ball. In a situation like that, if you're diving or falling, you have to maintain control of the ball throughout the catch.
Well, you remember the play Prince Fielder had the other day in the 9th inning. He caught that wide throw, and as he fell on the ground, his elbow hit and jarred the ball loose. He almost had possession long enough.
Right.
And the tying run scored.
So as it is, Schmidt still on second. 1-2 pitch is just a little bit outside and low. I think the catcher, Matt Welch, wanted that pitch for a strike.
Ryan Schmitz was smart on that play, on that foul, to tag up and go to third because, as you said, the first baseman, fell down.
And what he did was let the umpire sort it out. I would say that's an error.
Yep. Yes, it is.
Two and two is the count. Wilson up. We got a runner on second. We're in the bottom of the first, no score. North, in a sense, dodged a bullet in the top of the first when Schmitz walked the first 2 batters and didn't allow a run. There were 2 runners on with no outs. The pitch is hammered foul down the first base line.
Another good cut. Hopefully he'll, if the ball comes over the outside corner, maybe he'll take that shot at left field with 2 strikes on him.
Our next TV broadcast will be next Tuesday evening when Sheboygan North and Sheboygan South hook up for their second city game.
Yeah, the South, I believe, is a half game behind North in the standings because of a rainout.
Right.
So that's a key item for city supremacy, and ball 4 to Lucas. And
we had that rain out last week, and they were going to do the makeup games on Monday. The problem was Green Bay had rain on Monday, so the games scheduled for in Green Bay weren't played again, and that was a South game. The games here in Sheboygan were played.
Well, as much as
Peter Reschke is up, by the way, Coach.
As much as rain as we've had, I guess they've had their fields in Green Bay are worse.
Reschke steps in, hitting .229, had a little bit of a tough go so far. He's got 11 hits and 48 at-bats. He does have 2 doubles and a triple and 10 RBIs. Let's hope he can be productive this at-bat. Hammers one through, right to first baseman, who makes a quick throw to second for the out. Throw back to first is not in time. Schmitz holds at third.
Ryan wanted to come.
Yeah, he made a big turn.
That's one of the toughest plays in baseball, Marty. The pitcher basically is counted on to cover over there, and he's got to be quick enough to get there and get turned so he can play like a normal first baseman would.
Well, Robert Bowers, the first baseman, made a fine play getting over in the hole to and then made a strong throw to second.
Yeah, an excellent throw. It was perfect to convert the double play if it would have happened.
Ben Trilling steps in. Trilling is the hottest hitter on the Raiders. He's hitting .388. Has 3 doubles and 11 RBIs. Hammers one out to right. It goes over the right fielder's head. Trilling will have himself at least a double. 1 run is in. Chugging around third. Throw to the plate. And scoring
And play at third.
is Reschke. Play at third is not in time. Trilling is safe. Trilling with a 2 RBI double.
And an excellent slide.
Reschke hustling around the bases. He made a nice slide at home too, Coach.
Yeah, Pete's a big man.
Stepping in is Noel Deppies. Deppies the DH. He's served as the DH most of this season. He's hitting .244. He's got 5 doubles, Coach. He's leads the club in that department, along with Wilsing.
And he's a tough target, too.
Scoring on that double were Ryan Schmitz. Line drive, base hit through the hole by Deppies. Pinch running. Who was that kid? Josh Becker.
That was another big 2-out hit. You know, you like to see those in this game, and we've had 2 now.
Give credit to Becker for a run scored. And Deppies got the base hit to drive in the 3rd run of the inning. It's a good start for North in a very important game for them. Brad Schmitz, the center fielder, fouls that first pitch back. Schmitty hitting .148. Does have a double and 4 RBIs.
He's really got an open stance. I have to look to see if he gets back and gets back with that front foot and gets toward the pitcher. Nice move by the young southpaw for Southwest.
I was watching that game the other night when Capuano pitched. Well, you can't even tell when he's going to go to first.
He has one. He may be the best in baseball right now.
They were talking about Milwaukee last year. Hard ground ball over to third, flips over to second for the force out. We'll continue our thought on Brewer pickoffs in the next half inning, but at the end of 1 inning of play, North leads it 3-0 over Green Bay Southwest.
As parents, we do whatever is necessary to ensure the health of our children. Sadly, most parents don't realize that their child's first eye exam with an eye doctor should be between the age of 6 and 12 months. I urge you to take your baby to an optometrist for a comprehensive eye assessment. It can literally change your child's vision of the future.
Infancy optometrists offer a no-charge eye assessment for infants 12 months old or younger. Call today to find an optometrist near you.
We're back. Like I was talking about, Coach, I've heard this on the radio that last year between Davis and Capuano, the Brewers led the National League in pickoffs. But this year, they're not quite as proficient, and they figure one of the reasons is when Overbay was at first base, he was a left-handed first baseman. So making that swipe tag was a little easier where now fielder's got to go across his body.
Yeah, that really does make a difference, you know. And those plays are so close anyway that's just the difference between being out and getting back.
Fractions of a second.
Yeah. And that's, you know, ideally, if you're taking the correct lead off, it should be close.
Coach Jagler talking to the home plate umpire. We don't know what that was about.
A lot of unhappiness today for so early in the game.
Yeah. You and I are pretty happy, though, because we're not involved in all the unhappiness.
And we're indoors.
Exactly. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, maybe Schmidt's on track here a little bit and get out ahead of the hitters. He's got 3 runs to work with, and he should be loose.
Steve Reiner out on that first base camera. Up here in the booth with us is Fritz Zank. Kerry Kautzer spinning the dials in the truck, and Scott Mieloff doing the soda run.
You got it covered.
He got it all covered. No balls and 2 strikes.
I can see Steve smiling from here.
I think his face is frozen that way.
Well, it's frozen anyway.
Robert Bowers, the Southwest first baseman, is up. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. So I'm going to pitch in the dirt and miss. And Trilling throws him out at first. I think a quick inning would be real good for Schmidt because he did have to throw a lot of pitches in the top of the first.
Yeah, and I'm sure that Coach Wright wants to, get obviously as many as he can out of him. Hopefully all 7.
Jesse Rush, the right fielder, is up. Rush had a hard ball hit at him to try to make the play on it, but couldn't. That was the double by Trilling. Spanks one foul.
That ball going to right field off a right-hander's bat is always going to be doing something.
Yeah, it's usually tailing towards the line. And if it goes over your head to the right, it's going to be coming back the other way, and it's tough. That's where you got to give Jenkins a lot of credit because he played all those years in left, and now he's playing right, and he still does a job. Another ball hit hard, but out of play and just missed that white car driving by.
I see a truck out there saying "Dents." It says "Dents are us" on it, so must be anticipating something.
That pitch is fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rush.
I see Tom Fritsch is here. He must have gotten up from his nap.
Yep, and he always likes to come to the games and get supper.
Yeah. He's the only person in the stands with 3 orders of nachos.
Line drive, base hit for Rush. That's the first hit for Southwest. He went to the Old Timers Banquet last night. He hasn't gone to one of those in 10 years, but he did mention his dad bought him a ticket.
Well, actually, I've been a member for about 30 or 35 years, but we had another occasion last night.
Were you an old-timer 35 years ago already?
Well, they let me in when I was 7.
Ground ball to Gardner. He steps on the bag, rifles a throw to first for the double play. Good play by Mitchell Gardner, and that ends the top of the second for Green Bay at the end of an inning and a half. North 3, Southwest nothing.
Congratulations on the promotion.
I hope you're saving the extra money.
You gotta put it in stocks.
If you want to get ahead.
No, bonds.
And CD was
Way to go.
You stick it under the mattress.
Getting plenty of advice, but not enough facts? Visit saveandinvest.org. No confusing advice, no sales pitch. Just unbiased information and tools to help you manage your money with confidence. Saveandinvest.org.
I don't want to say he was a pigeon. I wanted to say that. But
he was a pigeon,
I know
but they got the other guy.
Yeah.
Do you know who the umpires are this season?
I can't remember now. Jeez, I was going to look before I left. Do you? I should know. I assign them, but I never looked in the book.
Okay. I think they're right here.
Jeff Schrader and Brian Krause, yeah.
Jeff Schrader, Brian Krause. I would think Schrader is probably the guy behind the plate.
Yep.
And where are those gentlemen
New
from?
Holstein and New Holstein, Kiel area.
Okay. Near the Holy Land?
Yes. Yep. They're definitely Catholic.
Well, you going to go?
Pardon me?
Stengel wants to talk to you. Can you talk?
We got an official call. Okay. Thanks, Scott. You're the man. Stepping in to lead off the second for North is Mitchell Gardner, who just made that fine double play. Made the good pick at short. stepped on the bag for 1 out and threw a perfect strike to Wilsing for the second out and completed the double play. Takes that first pitch for a strike. That pitch rides up high. I'll tell you one thing, when you get concessions here in Sheboygan, Scott, they're pretty doggone cheap. I mean, it's not like going down to Miller Park and paying an arm and a leg. Pitch is fouled back. Where did you leave my wallet? One ball and 2 strikes. Ives delivers. Pitch just a little inside, evens the count at 2-2. Nick Ballin, Andy Boast, Jesse Rush are the outfield for Southwest. Joe Perez at third, Drew Vanderlyn at short, Ryan Pigeon at second. Robert Bowers, we mentioned his name a couple times back in the first, is at first. Ives pitching, Matt Welsh is the catcher. That's a defensive setup for Southwest, and Mitchell Gardner takes one on the inside corner for a called strike 3. And that brings up Nate Hummich. Hummich is hitting .317, batting in the 9th hole, has 13 hits and 41 trips. His strength is stealing bases. He tied with Noel Deppies for the lead on the team with 4 stolen bases each. Hummich has very good speed. Look for him to lay down a bunt and try to beat it out.
Thank you, Ellen.
He had a good shot of Nathan getting ready.
I didn't realize that. Thank you, Marty.
Hey, not a problem, Coach. Coach taking care of business with Dan Stengel, North High Athletic Director. Pitch rides outside for a ball. 2-0 the count to Hummich. Hummich has drawn 8 walks on the season. Here he lays a bunt, but right at Ives, the pitcher, and an easy play over at first. I was just mentioning about Hummich's good speed and how he likes to bunt the ball, but not good placement.
Yeah, he's quick. He did a nice job as a D-back this year at North, and very alert to close on the ball. Had a couple of picks, and is excellent quickness.
Alex Binder, leadoff hitter, is up. He popped one on the infield his first time, and Eric Ives, the pitcher, made the catch. A little shaky, looked a little weak-kneed on the catch, but he made it. Not a good swing on that strike.
No, Ives took quite a bit off of that one. In this Brewer games that I've been watching lately, you see more and more pitchers using a change as a primary weapon now.
I know, you used to never see that.
So old circle change.
Well, Binder swung and missed at a pitch for strike 3, and at the end of 2 complete innings of play now, North leads it 3-0.
Does peace really have a chance within our lifetime? At Rotary, we believe it does. We've created programs at universities around the world dedicated solely to teaching peace to a new generation. There's a new symbol for peace. Rotary.
Coach and I are just taking a look at the yearbook that Sheboygan North puts out each year, and it's really quite a work. And it's a work in progress, too, because I know each year Chris tries to find more information of players from years past, and he's got a long list of names, starting off with Junior Edelman, who remember played Little League Baseball with my son back in the day.
Yeah, he goes back into the 51 anyway. I don't think I see anything earlier than that.
And it finishes up with Dan Zitzer.
See Bobby Gutcho in here from the 50s. Was I I think, honored last night at the Old Timers Banquet.
Leading off for Green Bay Southwest in the top of the third is Brian Anderkay. Anderkay is the designated hitter for Ives. Takes a strike. Swing and a miss for a strike.
Yeah, he's really settled down since those first couple of batters, and he obviously feels he's in a groove because he's not taking much time between pitches.
Well, a lot of traffic over at first base. Wilsing kept it and got there in good shape and made the putout.
As an ex-pitcher, one of my favorite frustrating things was to come over to cover first, and the first baseman would wait until
the last
you were
minute.
just crossing the bag and the runner was almost on your heels, and then he'd throw it 88 miles an hour at you.
Actually, you know what I think happened on that play, Coach? I thought Ryan was late getting there, and that's what confused Wilsing a little bit.
I think he was a little bit, but I think he made up for it. He put the Jets on a little bit. Ideally, you come down 20 to 25 feet from the line, run right at the first base line, and then go up the line toward the right field corner.
And then as you hit the bag, you angle towards center field so you don't get run over by the batter runner.
Well, that's nice that, with the rules now that they've got to use that outside line. That helps also.
Well, Nick Ballin got a single to center field, and that brings up the leadoff hitter, Ryan Pigeon. Pigeon walked in the first inning.
Pretty good pitch there. Again, he's working to the outside, and he's working very fast right now.
2 balls and no strikes. North on top 3-0 on the strength of a 3-run first inning. Got the call there for a strike. There you see Ballin on first. Wilsing, number 5, is the first baseman for the Raiders. Do you know if does North have a game between now and the North-South game, Ellen? So they'll have their...
Boy, there's a swinging bunt. Pretty quick, too.
Pigeon reaches on a hit. He's going to go to second on a throwing error by Trilling. And Southwest is in business with runners on second and third and only one out, and Drew Vanderlyn. Pardon me, Andy Boast coming up. So Pigeon gets a hit on a swinging bunt. And then advances on the throwing error by the catcher. And moving all the way to third was Ballin.
Well, he was pretty quick, and of course that was the perfect Baltimore chop, as they call it.
At first I thought it maybe hit off his leg and it rolled fair, but obviously that wasn't the case.
Hell, the grass is probably a little damp, and that slows it down a little bit.
Oh, did you see that spill that Albert Pujols took after the rain delay? Ran
No,
into foul territory, and they have a round logo type thing that sits over the on-deck circle. It's made of wood or plastic, and he hit that with his spikes, and his feet just went right out from underneath him and landed right on his back.
Yeah, you don't have much of a chance when that wood gets wet.
No, and that was on Tuesday night. He did play last night. 2 balls and 1 strike. Line drive down the right field line, but it's going to be foul. Right over there where Steve Reinert is. Hang in there, Steve.
He didn't change his expression at all.
I told you, it's frozen. Frozen in time. Fritz Zink up here, smiling, happy to be inside. Breaking ball right to Schmitty. They got the runner trapped off third.
They might get the runner.
They're going to get him too.
They got a double play at third.
Wow.
He was a pigeon at third.
Well, 8-2 on the putout for the first runner, I think, and then 2-5 maybe on the putout for the runner at third. But it's another double play for the Raiders.
Well, Ryan ran at him, so it was 1-something, right?
Okay, he tagged him out. Okay.
But Ryan did the right thing. He ran right at the runner. He's halfway down staring at him, and he's dead.
All right, at the end of 2.5. North still on top, 3-0.
Just close my eyes and I'm with you, and all that I so wanna give you, it's only a
You don't have to be a hero to be a hero. When you adopt a child from foster care, just being there makes all the difference.
You know, Coach, we mentioned when we were in the short break here, but sometimes when you have a so-so team, they make huge mistakes at the wrong time, and Southwest has done that twice now.
And they really weren't. They weren't situations where, you'd say, well, you had a 50-50 chance or whatever. I mean, he was just dead at third, and that ball wasn't hit that hard that he could have recognized that and not taken such a chance and come down the line.
And it all started with the man on third, not reading the play correctly. You gotta, they always talk about freezing on a line drive. Sometimes you gotta freeze on a hot shot to the pitcher's mound.
Exactly, and he certainly didn't.
Schmitz hammers one to Vanderlyn at short. He fires across for the easy out. That'll bring up Lucas Wilsing.
Well, North has gotten 3 outs on the base paths in 3 innings and almost had 4.
Yeah, and a huge one really, I think, was at the top of the first when Southwest had runners on first and second and nobody out, and Schmidt had trouble throwing strikes, and he did get the number 3 hitter on a strikeout, and then that's when things got interesting. Lucas takes the second pitch for a ball. 2-0. Southwest fans a little late arriving, but they're here. Wilsing almost swung right out of his shoes.
That's the second time he's taken an inside pitch and hit it pretty hard, but it's never going to be fair.
Eric Ives on the mound for the Trojans. Lucas in the batter's box, looking at a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Shows a good eye there, taking the pitch outside for ball 3. Key hit in that 3-run first for North was Trilling's 2-run double. And Wilsing draws a 1-out walk. That'll bring up the number 4 hitter, Peter Reschke. Reschke reached in the first on a fielder's choice and then scored on Trilling's double. Showed good hustle getting around the bases. He scored all the way from first base on Trilling's hit. Wilsing is not the kind of guy that's going to steal a lot of bases, although he does get a pretty good lead over there. And a good shot of Bowers, number 18, and Ives, number 17. 2 primaries for Southwest. Pitch to Reschke is inside, just missed his jersey for ball 1. North, with an 8-4 record in conference, they trail Notre Dame by a half game. Line drive at the second baseman. Pigeon, he makes a one-handed pickup, throws the second for the force, and Vanderlyn's throw to first completes the double play on Reschke. That's 3 double plays in the ball game. 2 by North, 1 by Southwest now. At the end of 3 complete, Southwest trailing the Raiders 3-0.
It's a pretty big word, but easy to understand, especially when it comes to structuring your investment portfolio. Having diversity in your investments is always a good idea. It not only makes your overall portfolio more balanced, it can provide you with a little peace of mind by helping you to minimize your risks. Simply put, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Learn more about the importance of diversifying your portfolio and choose to save.
Pigeon trying to make up for that comment by you, Coach. Just made really a spectacular play at second base.
Yeah, that ball was hit hard.
And, catching the ball is one thing, when you're reaching out like that, but then he was able to pivot and make a strong throw to second for the force to start the double play.
Well, my son Tom and I have been watching the Brewers a little bit at night, and Ricky Weeks is having trouble pivoting or turning after he makes that, trying to make that throw to second to the shortstop. And he's had 2 or 3 errors. He's not on his heels. He's up on his toes, and he's kind of goosing the ball instead of throwing it.
He seems to do okay when he doesn't have to go laterally, when their balls are hit right at him. First pitch to Drew Vanderlyn is a strike. Vanderlyn was a strikeout victim in the first.
Well, Ryan's getting that ball down on that outside corner and connecting with the black, and it's a tough pitch if you're thinking of pulling it.
It evens the count at 1-1. Our next TV game, like I mentioned earlier, is going to be next Tuesday when North and South hook up in the second intercity battle or baseball game. Coach, you won't be here that night. You have other commitments, so we're going to have to find someone to take your, well, I don't know that anybody can ever replace your, but try to find somebody.
And that game's at 7 o'clock, right?
Yeah, that's right. Ground ball to third and making a nice play was Peter Reschke over to Wilsing for the out. I think personally the idea of having that North-South game at 7 o'clock at night was a real hit. Boy, they had a tremendous crowd.
Yeah, I think it is too. You give the people a chance to, as we said a couple of weeks ago, go home and after work and rest a little bit, get something to eat, or come out here and have something and watch a nice game.
Dick Aldrich doesn't like that when they go home and eat. He'd rather have them go home and
I
come
knew when
here
I
and
said
eat.
it, I was in trouble, yeah.
And I think for those games too, because they know it's a special deal and there'll be a good crowd, they fry out before, so they have brats and hamburgers ready for the fans. Got the call on that pitch on the outside corner. One ball and 2 strikes.
I think he was pleased with that, Marty. You and I would have loved to get that call.
Really? That one just a little bit more outside and not called a strike. Looks like he overthrew that one a little bit.
Yeah, he's got to have to take just a little bit more time and get himself set.
Ryan has 2 walks and 2 strikeouts in the ball game. That ball hammered out to right field, racing over is Hummich. He makes a diving catch for the out. Guess not, he dropped it, rifles it back in, and I guess we're going to have to call it a double. I don't know, Coach.
Oh, certainly.
Double for Perez. Ellen had a little better view over on her side of the booth, said he had it in the glove and then it popped out when he hit the ground. So great effort by Nathan. And nice hit by Perez. He really hammered that ball.
Yeah, that ball was deep in the corner.
Robert Bowers, we got a pinch hitter coming up. Number 15, Bobby Dean. There's a name that he played some basketball this year. Dean is hitting for Bowers here in the 4th inning. Perez is on at second. We have 1 out. Ryan Schmidt's on the mound for North. Dean swinging hard at that first pitch, falls it back.
Yeah, that's impressive. You know, you're sitting around for about an hour and coming off the bench cold and get your cuts.
Hey, good shot at Dean.
It's not like the bigs when you can go down and
get
on the treadmill and take some swings and work up a sweat.
And you see Perez out at second base. That pitch gets by Ben Trilling. And moving over to third was Perez. No, Coach. Pass ball, wild pitch.
I'd say it was a wild pitch also. Ellen and I finally agree on something.
I think she's changing it to a pass ball. She didn't want to agree with you. It's a wild pitch. That pitch is on the outside, and makes the count 3-1.
Ryan opens up really early with his shoulders, and that's part of that ball being outside all the time. He didn't that time.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Lienhardt not able to make the play, and sliding in safe at home is Perez. And that makes it 3-1. Would have been a tough play, I think.
Not an easy play. As a pitcher, I would probably say it was an error, but the ball wasn't hit hard enough to make it easy.
And Ryan Lienhardt, actually fell down as he was trying to make the play. So we'll give the Bobby Dean a hit on that. Jesse Rush steps in. He singled his first time up, cracked a line drive to center field. And Southwest on the board. They now trail by 2. Another pitch on the outside corner for a strike makes it no balls and 2 strikes.
I don't want to belabor this, but if you watch Ryan's shoulders, when he doesn't open up with his shoulders early, that ball's in there. He kind of falls off the mound a little bit too, as a lot of pitchers do.
Well, with the 0-2 count, he's not going
to
put another one in there. He's going to make the batter work. Rush was right on that, but fouled it straight back.
Well, let's get our 4th double play.
Yeah, North has 2, Southwest has 1. It's actually been a very well-played game. The only error on North was Trilling's throwing error. Check swing.
That's right.
Lienhardt looks to second, but then throws to first, which was a smart play. You're right, Coach.
Right. Again, that ball wasn't hit real hard. Yeah, and he made the right play. At this stage, you want to get an out somewhere and not take a chance on a bang-bang play.
Matt Welch is up. Matt is the catcher. We gotta get this home run call right if somebody hits one tonight. The last time, remember, we didn't even know it carried, or I didn't know it carried out.
Well, Chad Moeller hit one for the Brewers today, and I could tell by the crowd he hit it, but they didn't realize it in the booth. It wasn't Euchre, it was Jim Powell.
So it isn't, it happens even in the bigs. Yeah. Time was called prior to the pitch, so that one doesn't count. The count as it stands right now is 1 ball, no strikes. Southwest has a run in and a runner on second base, but there are 2 outs. Breaking ball.
Did you watch the Brewer game last night? I think it was Turnbull when the batter stepped out on a 2-2 pitch. They didn't give it to him, the timeout. He threw a pretty good pitch, but how do you know? Because there's no strike zone.
It isn't automatically a strike.
No,
I think in high
no.
school baseball it's automatically a strike.
That could be, and of course that was the leadoff guy. He ended up walking him, and he scored.
Right, yeah. Pop up to right. Lienhardt coming on. Nate Hummich coming in. He can't
Got
make the
play
play.
at the plate.
Whoa. Throws way over the catcher's head, and running down to second base is the hitter Welsh. So Welsh with a single and an RBI. And I don't think we give him an error. He just goes to second on the throw. Or do we?
No, that's correct. Again, a ball that just happened to be hit in the right place. Obviously not hit very hard, and we got a pinch runner out there, Mike.
All right, number 22 is Ben Perry running for Welsh. Batting is the designated hitter, Brian Anderkay. Anderkay bounced to Wilsing in the third. That was that play when we had all kinds of traffic at the bag, and Lucas just took it to the base and got the out. Pitch rides up high, evens the count at 1-1. Bouncing ball, just rolls foul. The last second.
There was a case where maybe Lucas should have come up the line.
You know what I was thinking? A ball's going to hit the bag.
Yep, that's the other thing that can happen. I mean, if you know that if you catch it, you're going to get the man out, then you obviously want to, get as far up the line as possible.
Right, get it before something silly happens. There's a pitch on the outside corner for strike 3. And that ends the inning for Southwest, but not before. They score 2 runs. At the end of 3.5, it's North 3, Southwest 2.
In times of danger and disaster, in times of peace and times of war, in times of joy and times of pain, in every corner of the world, and right here at home, for their families, for their futures, for the incredible sacrifice they make for all of us, so that someday they can return to the people they love and the things they hold in their hearts. For all of this, it's this simple. We need them, they need us, and we need you, the USO. Until everyone comes home. To find out more about the USO and how you can help, visit USO.org.
Okay.
Well, Southwest is putting the pressure on Sheboygan North. It was 3-0, but Southwest scored 2 runs on 3 hits. In that top of the fourth, it's, I think, important for North to reestablish control by scoring a run or 2.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for him, and as you say, to give Ryan a little breathing room out on the mound. He certainly looks like he's throwing the ball well.
Ben Trilling leading off the inning for the Raiders. Ben had that key hit back in the first inning, doubled in a pair of runs. And give Peter Reschke a lot of credit for his hustle. So he started off from first base and went all the way around to score. With those 2 RBIs, Trilling now has 13 on the season. And his double was his 4th of the season. Ball's hit foul. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Actually, I can do this, Coach. Trilling is now hitting 400. 20 for 50. It wasn't a hard one.
2 for 5.
Yeah. Bouncing ball to Vanderlyn. Makes a nice pickup, and it gets by Bobby Dean, the first baseman. And Trilling's on at first.
Boy, oh boy. Ellen Wright saying, what happened there? I think the coach is thinking the same thing. I'd give that error on the catch.
I think Bobby had a hole in his glove.
That's exactly what it looked like. It definitely would have been an easier play for Bowers because he's probably a good 5 to 6 inches taller than Bobby Dean. But the throw certainly wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't. And even if he would have had to leave the bag, he still had time to tag him.
Right. That brings up the number 6 hitter, Noel Deppies. Deppies singled in a run and in that first inning drove in Trilling.
Yeah, he hit a ground ball in the hole and hit it hard.
A nice pitch by Ives. Got Deppies way out in front.
Yeah, his head went out and it was all over for him.
It's like when your rear end goes one way and your arms go flail in the other and your head is in the third place, there's no way you're going to hit the ball hard. Welch on a strong throw down to first, but Trilling back in. Did you ever notice how a drink always tastes better when someone else buys it?
Well, I haven't had that much experience being around you.
Good one, Coach.
But this one's really good, Mike.
So you should hang around me more often. I'd buy you one once in a while.
Well, you did last year, and now it's a new year.
One ball, two strike pitch. Curveball on the outside corner. Deppies took it, and it's called a strike. Brad Schmitz stepping in. Schmitty reached on a fielder's choice in the first. And Ives has really settled down, Coach, since that first inning. He's got 3 up, 3 down in the second, and got the double play in the third. And although Trilling reached to lead off the inning, now he retired Deppies. You know, he's.
Well, I would bet that he's not a senior, and he's a pretty big kid, and fills out a little bit. He's got him out in front on that change curve.
I'll tell you, Welch likes to throw the ball down. He's not afraid. Gotta like that in your catcher.
Yeah, little Pudge Rodriguez type mentality.
Exactly. Chris Wright smiling over in the third base coach's box. His team leading by only a run. It's 3-2. We're in the bottom of the fourth. Eyes with a pretty deceptive move that time, but Trilling had him red. Now, I think it was Southwest coach. I don't know if, I think it was they had a different coach at the time, but they had this pickoff play at second base where the pitcher would spin and throw, and then all the outfielders would run to the outfield. Like you threw the ball away. And then the guy at second would jump up and run to third, and the pitcher would still have the ball and, go tag him out.
Takes a lot of practice.
Yeah. Actually, I think I actually had a game when that happened, umpiring that is, and those guys did an excellent job of it. I mean, they could have won Academy Awards the way they acted out.
Yeah. Adapting that or comparing that with football now, there's no more fumble-rooski play.
Yeah, well, you got to explain to the fans what the fumble-rooski is. I have an idea what it is, but they might not know.
Well,
and we saw it in bowl games, not this past
right.
season, but
I think it seems to me that Nebraska was one of the teams that used it a lot. Florida State, where they snapped the ball, put the ball down right behind the guard's foot, and then a back comes by going the other way and picks it up. And I guess they feel there's too much deception. It
adds too much fun to the game.
Yeah, it makes it more fun than what Woody Hayes would like.
Well, Brad Schmidt struck out swinging. That brings up Mitchell Gardner, who hammers one to left. Vanderlyn coming over, making the call, and makes the catch for out number 3, and that ends the 4th inning for North at the end of 4 complete. North on top 3-2.
Sheboygan A's baseball is baseball the way it was meant to be played, and you can be part of the action at every A's home game. For children and adults, each game features on-field games, great food and drink, exciting baseball action, and the opportunity to meet new friends. This can all be yours when you become a working member of the Sheboygan Athletic Club. The family membership fee of only $25 entitles you to free admission to all 2006 A's home games, reduced prices at the concession stand, and you will be part of the A's rich tradition of winning baseball. To learn more, contact the Sheboygan Athletic Club at 458-6377 or log on to sheboyganbaseball.org.
After, and he said he was out too. Noel Deppy's warming up Ryan Schmitz as Trilling gets his equipment on. Now, Coach, they had an article in the paper about the reconfiguration of the Valley and possibly splitting up into a couple of divisions maybe. But what interested me was it looks like you're no longer the conference commissioner when that news set up.
Yeah, that's I'm kind of going to bow out September 1st of 07, and I couldn't figure it out after 34 years. And
you still haven't learned to use a computer.
Well, you know, somebody accused me of having an IBM Selectric, and I said no, I have 2 of them.
One thing you do have is probably the best handwriting, or not. I don't know if it's handwriting as much as it is printing, but it's very, very. Boy, it's very neat.
Yeah, well, I've really enjoyed it. That's going to be a monumental task for Gary Sievert, who will be taking over in 07.
Because you're not going to leave many files or anything?
Well, that's it. I'm going to be like, who was the first, Doug Minkowski, or who was the first baseman for the Red Sox that kept the ball after the third out?
Minkevich.
I might keep the records and put them on eBay.
You can buy them there.
Yeah.
Ballin hammers one to right, and Hummich comes over and makes the catch. A nice running catch out there and right. Making the play. There you see Ballin going back to the dugout. And that takes us up to the top of the order, Ryan Pigeon. Pigeon having an interesting game, Coach. He's reached twice. Hasn't scored yet.
Pretty scary watching him on the base paths, and he is quick.
Right. Had a great defensive play, starting a double play for Southwest in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of work to do with formation of the league, all your different sports now.
Well, you got to set all those schedules, got to get set up again.
And you have to set up your philosophy about how you're going to determine championships. And you've got 12 schools interacting instead of 8.
You know, and you bring up an interesting point, because my senior year, we suffered a loss in football, first game of the year to West when they had Taggy. Then as the season rolled through, West lost, had a tie game. So now we're, let's say, 5-1. They're 5-0-1. What happens if they tie a game, or what happens, in that situation? And actually, there was something that went on the fly, because I remember that coming through. Well, if they tie another game, that's going to equal a loss. And it would be a tie for the conference. We'd be 7-1. They'd be 7 or 6-0-2 or whatever it would be.
Well, you and I probably agree. Neither one of us like ties very much in anything,
No.
and. So what we did in soccer, it's 3 points for a win and 1 for a tie. Of course,
they go on a point system.
Yeah, you have a lot more ties in soccer, obviously. Well, in football, you don't anymore because
playoffs,
you played before the overtimes.
Right.
I was at that game. It was in Green Bay, right? And,
yep. Old City Stadium.
Yeah, and the Mason boy faked a sprained ankle, and they got a free timeout, and then Taggy scored on the last almost the last play of the game.
Yeah, it was the last play of the game. Well, you're right.
And Bud Lowell was a
The
referee.
official, yep. Ryan Pigeon struck out before Andy Boast. Boast is up there with an 0-2 count. You know, years after that happened when I was teaching at Chilton, I was at I think it was a health conference up in Green Bay area or something, and one of the guys there was a former assistant coach at Green Bay West. And I don't know how I found it out, but anyway, we got to talking. I said, what about that guy who faked an injury? And he made the comment, yeah, coach sent him in. I had another guy ready to fake an injury by me, so I don't necessarily know that it was a faked injury. But in either case, the way the referee handled it, you know, they had changed the rules where the clock was supposed to start right away. They would have never had time to run the last play. Instead, he waited, allowed them to run that last play, and cost us the game.
In fact, one of my best friends from my hometown ran a Shopko store in Green Bay, and Mason worked for him, and he walked in the next day to work, and he wasn't limping.
Oh, really? So you think it was...
Certainly. That's something I think they learned at from Notre Dame.
Ooh. Even though Notre Dame didn't exist back then, it was Green Bay Abbott
I mean Notre Dame, the university.
Oh. Well, taking strike 3 was Andy Boast, and that's 2 called strikeouts in the inning, and at the end of 4.5, North hanging on with a 3-2 lead.
Love is the answer to all questions. Hope is the breath that keeps my spirit alive. Smiles are the world's most plentiful resource. Easter Seals changes the lives of people living with disabilities. Learn how at easterseals.com. Be an angel of change.
In my work, I often look into the eyes of endangered animals, and sadly I realize that for many of them, time is just running out. What kind of world would it be without these beautiful creatures in the great web of life? I don't want to find out, and neither do you. I'm Jeff Corwin. Please join me and Defenders of Wildlife to save something wild for future generations. To find out what you can do, visit defenders.org, because you can make a difference.
Kerry Kautzer joining us up in the booth, and there you see Lucas's mom and dad in the first row watching the ball game. North on top 3-2. Only collected 3 hits though, Coach, all of them coming in the first inning.
Yeah, they haven't hit the ball for about 45 minutes here, and they've been getting going now. How much you can get on and set the table a little bit, ignite them?
He'd be a great guy to get on, one of the fastest guys on the team. Tried to reach on a bunt back in the second, but didn't have good placement. Hit it right back to Ives, who had a real easy play. Throwing Nathan out. See Ray Bale and Snipe Van Vagel joining Tom Fritz. Some of those nachos.
It's quite a crew.
Good rip at a fastball. Makes it count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mike Martin along with Bill Richards bringing you the game this afternoon. Pretty cloudy gray day and actually kind of chilly out there on the field when we did the opening.
I think it's a lot cooler now than it was 4 or 5 hours ago.
It was pretty nice when I went to school this morning. Homich swung through a fastball for strike 3. And North continuing to struggle with their hitting after that first inning.
I understand they had an early morning workout today too, 6:15 or so.
Yeah.
Batting and...
in the cages in the gym at North. Because they couldn't practice last night because of the weather.
I can remember trying to get you up at 6:15 to shoot free throws, and you said, nah, I don't want to.
That's overrated. I made them at the end of the game when it counted. You didn't need to make them before breakfast. You remember that one game, Coach? I remember it was a home game, and I think we were in overtime, and they fouled me, and we had a 1-point lead with just seconds remaining, and we walked into the dugout, into the huddle, and I said, "You don't have to worry, Coach. They're both going in."
Yep.
And you're saying, "Well, here's what we're going to do when he makes them, and just in case, here's what we're going to do if he misses them." They both went in, though.
Well, at least you didn't shoot it from 30 feet.
No. First pitch is a ball to Alex Binder. Ryan Schmitz. What did Binder do? Flew out to right. Thanks. There's a reason why you're up here. Schmitty with a hard shot to short. Vanderlyn will again with a strong throw to first that Bobby Dean makes the catch on this time. And that ends the top of the fifth. Pardon me, the bottom of the fifth. At the end of 5, North still clinging to a 3-2 lead.
Thank you for keeping our country free.
I'm happy you looked out for our country.
It seems we are all more aware of what service to our country really means.
Does anyone know what a veteran is?
You must be brave to go in the Army.
Now it is possible to say thank you directly to America's veterans. Just log on to thankyouveterans.org, select an e-card, and send a personal message of thanks.
Please know that you will be in my prayers always. I wanted to do something to let them know how I feel.
I'm glad to say I'm an American because of you.
There are 26 million veterans living in America, from World War II to Afghanistan and Iraq. Let a veteran or someone in the military know you appreciate their service. Visit thankyouveterans.org, a public service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Coach, here's a bit of an interesting stat regarding Ryan Schmitz. He has 4 strikeouts in the game. 3 of them are called strikes.
Well, he's, as we say, he kind of loosened up a little bit after the first few batters, working that outside corner.
Vanderlyn helping out Schmitz, swinging at what looked like a low pitch. Pitch just a little bit inside. Apparently, it looked pretty good from up here, but we got a little bit of a bad angle. 1-1 is the count. Drew Vanderlyn is 0 for 2. Struck out and grounded to third. If I recall, that grounder to third was a real nice play by Peter Reschke. Two-one pitch is Nix Vanderlyn on the left shoulder, and they have the leadoff hitter on. This is not a good situation with only a 1-run lead.
Yeah, we've got cleanup hitter up.
Yeah, Perez doubled and scored his last time. That was in the 4th.
Well, we'll see how the base running goes now.
Vanderlyn, a big guy, has got pretty good speed. Pitches outside for a ball. Oh, Perez helping out Schmitty again. Southwest batters not very disciplined so far.
Yeah, that's big. That have made it count 2 and zip.
Now it's 1-1. Move your hand once, Coach. When you put your hand on that cord, I get a buzzing in my ear. Take that, Martin.
Okay, big pitch here, Marty. 2-1.
Well,
He certainly likes the high ball.
I was going to say that looked like it was above his shoulders again. Well, he did get a piece of it. Trilling needs to work on his throwing.
Boy, as a pitcher, that always bothered me when you had a catcher that worked you out, throwing the ball back to you.
Bounce.
Toughest plays of the game was the catcher throwing them back.
I got a Freddie Spaeth story I could tell you. He was catching out at Howard's Grove one night when I was pitching. Grounder to short. Gardner cuts it off, but is in no position to make a throw. And Southwest has their first 2 hitters on in the top of the 6th.
See it, and I said in the first inning, I really think that our shortstop plays way too close to second base. That's a normal ground ball. That's not even in the hole.
Right.
And he can't feel it.
Right.
And now it's going to be worse because now you've got a runner on second. And, man, there's a big hole there.
Well, whenever Ryan pitches, you know, it throws your defense off a little bit because now he's on the mound. He's normally the shortstop. Nice bunt. And Trilling's throw to Lienhard is there in time, but Lienhard had a jump to make the catch, and he was not able to come down on the bag in time. And safe at first was Bobby Dean.
Well, and I thought that, I don't know, Ben double clutched that ball or not.
Yeah, he did definitely. He looked to third first, and then he threw to first. Yeah. Or looked to third first, and then he threw to first.
But even when after he decided to throw to first, he didn't throw it right away, and it made the play close. Because the bunt wasn't more than 6 feet from home plate.
Well, we know this much. It is definitely a sacrifice to move the runners over. Now it's a matter of what do we give Dean?
A fielder's choice.
Think so? Not an error? What? Error on the throw?
yeah, an error. I mean, he doesn't get anything beneficial out of it.
Sacrifice, but an error. He reaches on an error on the throw. And that's a second throwing error on Trilling. And amazingly, not amazingly, but interestingly enough, they've both been to first base. But the situation now is Southwest with the bases loaded and nobody out. And Jesse Rush is up. Rush had a base hit back in the second. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. Middle part of the infield is back. The corners are up. Bouncing ball in the hole. It hits the runner.
That's a big play, too.
That's going to make the runner out. All runners at second and third go back. The batter runner goes to first. So that helps out North big time.
It's another base running error. The ball wasn't hit very hard. It's right in front of you. There's no reason to run into it.
It's a base hit for Rush. Yeah, it is. It's a base hit. When a runner gets hit by a batted ball, it's a base hit for the batter. Trust me. That brings up Matt Welch. Welch falls it straight back. Now we have the bases remain loaded, but there's one out. Vanderland stays at third. Perez stays at second. Dean is out being hit by the batted ball, and then Rush is on at first base. Curveball stays up high. I am right in that, ain't I? When the batter, the batter gets a hit on that. Of course, we're both left-handed. What do we know?
Well, I know we both know that there's no room for the batter.
2 balls and 1 strike is the count. Matt Welch, the catcher, is up. And Schmidt's trying to fire it right past the batter. Maybe he's overthrowing a little bit.
I think you're right, Marty. You said that a couple of innings ago on a pitch where he overthrew and was down in the dirt.
Now Welch, his last time up, coach, had an RBI single to score that second Green Bay Southwest run. Now with a 3-1 count, he becomes even more dangerous.
Yeah, we'll see what he's got him doing here. If he's
corners are even. Middle of the infield is back, looking for the double play. Bouncing ball down the third base line, and it drifts foul. Just got over the line, and Reschke touched it. That'll bring the batter back with a full count. Well, that's a huge play, coach. They don't get anybody out if it stays fair.
A lot of people moving on the diamond on that play.
Yeah.
Everyone had a place to go.
Well, Welsh didn't want to get an infield hit anyway.
He's swinging, that's for sure. He's up there to.
He got up there, boy. That first pitch he was ripping at it. You know, he's confident. He's a confident hitter now with that RBI single earlier. Bouncing ball, front of the plate. Runner is called safe. It was just a force play, but Schmitty not able to make the play in time. Did they call him out? What the heck happened? They called, I think the base umpire called a foul ball. And they're going to put everybody back and do it again.
Or he called timeout before the ball was pitched.
I think when he was talking to Coach Jagler, he was saying it bounced off his leg. And so it wasn't the home plate umpire that called it foul. It was the base umpire.
We probably should have those guys mic so we can
Yeah.
get the call or a lot. But that's probably it because the ball didn't go anywhere.
Well, here we go again, 3-2. Bouncing ball right at Reschke, fires home for the out, and Trilling holds on to it. And Wilsing down at first base is yelling at Trilling, don't throw it, don't throw it, don't risk anything. Boy, oh boy, North catching another break, Coach.
Good play by Peter, keeping that ball in front of him. And, yeah, well, after Ben's thrown a couple around, I think they're just confident they just work on getting this hitter out.
Well, Brian Anderke is scheduled to hit, but they're sending up a pinch hitter. Mason Liebergen is going to bat. Mason, if I recall, played in that doubleheader when I was umpiring, and he's not a bad player, Coach. He can hit the ball a little bit. But what I was talking about with catching a break was, you know, like the foul at home plate, and was one of them, and the guy getting hit by the ball. You know, they got to know
that's
there.
that's just a huge part of this inning is running into that ground ball.
All right, here we go. Bases remain loaded, but now there are 2 outs. Liebergen swinging right away, falls it back.
Well, Dean came off the bench and ripped right away, and as you said, Liebergen up there to hit. Kind of some impressive guys coming off the Pines.
Yeah, that's good. Got to like that as a coach. Pitch in the dirt, gets away from Trilling.
Oh, Schmitz was late again.
The tag was made, but it was high. And sliding in and scoring was Joe Perez. And, boy, just when it looked like they had an opportunity to escape without damage, you get that pitch in the dirt and gets away from Trilling.
Yeah, Ryan Schmitz didn't get into cover soon enough. That throw was not that bad. Had he been there, he might have had a shot at him.
Well, we're all tied up at 3-3. But Southwest still threatening with runners on second and third. That pitch is in for a strike. Makes the count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Mason Lieberger. Oh, we've definitely overthrown there, Coach.
That one, yeah.
Trying to get a little extra on there. 2-2, 2 outs. That pitch rides a little bit low, Trilling with a nice stop. Well, the count is full, but the bases are not loaded, so a walk here isn't the end of the world. Pitch fouled off. Count remains full. Oh, just when you think you got it made, Coach.
Yeah, then give him an easy one.
Bouncing ball through. 1 run is in. Another run is going to come around and score. And Southwest leads it 5-3. Mason Liebergen 2 RBI single. And again, you know, Coach, you mentioned it before, but that seemed like a ball to normal shortstop.
Well, I don't see him hit any balls over second base, and that guy is still too close to second. They haven't had a comebacker. I guess they've had one ball that Ryan fielded.
Yeah. And he remains, Mitch Gardner remains way over towards the middle of the diamond. Pitch was called a strike.
Yeah, they didn't look.
Yeah.
We'll take it though, right?
Exactly, yeah. Pitch is fouled off. Warming up in the Southwest bullpen is Drew Vanderlyn. We're in the top of the 6th. North had a 3-0 lead, but Southwest has battled back, and they now lead it 5-3. Pop up into right. Hummich makes the play, and that puts the inning to rest, but not before Southwest scores 3 runs, all after they had the bases loaded and nobody out, and then 2 outs were recorded by the Raiders, and that's when Southwest scored the runs. Anyway, at the end of 5.5, Southwest leads it 5-3.
CureSearch.org can help. It's run by doctors and scientists whose research has led to an overall cure rate of 78%. You're not as alone as you feel.
Wisconsin. Life's so good. Call 1-800-432-TRIP or visit travelwisconsin.com.
Here you see Craig Walters, first base coach for North. Also the golf coach over at North. Craig's a good basketball player.
Mayville boy.
Yep, Mayville boy. I think he told me he had 15 points in a state tournament game one year.
We may have to check the records and see how true that is.
Lucas Wilsing leading off the bottom of the 6th. North now is going to have to battle back. But I'll tell you, they haven't done a lick since that first inning. They don't have one hit in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Ives has really settled down. You know, we talked about Schmitty settling down after those 2 walks in the first. Ives has settled down even more so.
He's really taken a lot off of that curve, and we're getting out in front.
He has 5 strikeouts in the ball game and only 1 walk. Seems to have a little better command than Ryan.
Well, he's getting us up on our front foot, just like that last pitch. Of course, Lucas is guarding with 2 strikes, and but we're getting our weight forward a little early, and he's making us pay.
Pitch rides up high. Vanderlyn was warming up the last half inning, Coach. I think he's getting ready just in case Ives starts to lose it.
Well, and we don't know how many complete games or
Right.
how many innings he's got in him.
We don't know his modus operandi for when he starts a game, if he finishes most of his. Wilsing pops it up, but it gets out of play. Full count. We're in the bottom of the 6th, North trailing 5-3. They collected 3 base hits in that 3-run first, and since that time, they have not had a hit. Wilson hammers on the left center field. A good play made out there by the center fielder, Andy Boast, to hold Lucas to a single. It looked off the bat like it might go for 2.
Yeah, I thought it would too, and Lucas was smart to not gamble because his run doesn't mean anything.
Peter Reschke stepping in. Peter is 0 for 2 in the ball game, but he did score a run back in the first. Reschke overdue. A good eye by Peter there, taking that breaking ball down and away. Hey, Kerry, was that the new ad for the Sheboygan A's? Kerry Kautzer doing the production of that Sheboygan A's promo ad, trying to bolster membership, especially the kind of members that want to help out and do a little work.
There's plenty to do around the diamond, right? As you and I know, and I know Denny knows.
Yeah, that's for sure. And game nights, as you could see in the ad, there's a lot going on in terms of games and things, and they do their 50-50 raffle, and all that needs to be done by someone, plus the concession stand. And
well, he's picked up on what a lot of the minor league teams have done with different promotions and just goofy things besides the game.
Yeah, make it interesting, yeah.
That's right. It's entertainment, and he is in competition for the entertainment dollar.
Pitches outside. It's 3-0 now to Reschke.
I know the Elks are coming down on August 8th, I believe, and we always bring about 100 or so. And
it's great family entertainment.
And you get that nice weather, and it's a real nice night out.
Reschke takes that pitch outside, and that puts the first 2 runners on in the top of the 6th for North on base. Wilson at second now, Reschke on at first, and Ben Trilling stepping in. Trilling doubled in a pair of runs back in the first and reached on an error.
Chris Wright going to get a runner in for Reschke.
Looks like he is. Trotting down there is number 21. Tyler Chambers is pinch running. There's a difference there. You can courtesy run for your catcher and pitcher, but for someone other than that, then he becomes a pinch runner. And if you want to bring your starter in, you can, but then that runner is lost.
Yep, you can only do it once. It'll be interesting to see what we do here. Whether you want to give Ben up on a sacrifice or let him hit away. And
well, Chris doesn't bunt a whole lot. And he might want to bunt here with his number 5 hitter. Although, I don't know. Trilling's your hottest hitter. He's hitting just a touch under 500 or 400 now. 20 for 51. You got that computed yet, Coach?
Well, I've got faith in you. We're going to have to stay here till he bats 49 more times. Or 39.
Whatever. Get that 400 average back up there. A breaking ball in there. Looked like a high pitch. Trilling thought it was high, but he gets a strike called and steps out. 1-1 is the count.
I thought Coach Wright was going home for a minute there, but he was just voicing his displeasure.
That pitch hangs up high. It looked like Welsh wanted to throw it on to second.
I think he changed his mind about halfway through the throw, mainly because he didn't have anyone on the bag.
That definitely makes a difference when you want to throw down. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ben Trilling. North has a couple of runners on with nobody out. Bouncing ball up the middle. Vanderlyn with a nice pickup. Steps on the bag for the out, but throws the ball away. A run comes in, Trilling trots down to second, and it's a 1-run ball game.
As Kerry just said about 10 minutes ago, you need runners. You need people on the bases to make the defense feel the pressure.
Well, Vanderlyn made a really nice pickup, Coach, and did the smart thing, I thought, stepping on the bag himself. Right. But the throw got away from him. Well, North has a run in, and Trilling is on second. Reschke, well, Tyler Chambers actually, the runner on first, is forced out at second. And Noel Deppy's stepping in. Deppy's single in a run in the first and was called out on strikes in the fourth. And Josh Becker is coming in to courtesy run for Trilling again. Becker actually scored that run in the first because he was courtesy running at that point. He's seen a lot of action this game. Trilling on 3 times. Becker in the game 3 times.
Well, you were pretty quick, Marty. You would have been of course, you were a starter, so.
Yeah, most of the time, at least in Legion baseball. You know, of all the sports I played, Coach, I think I like baseball by far. No, I shouldn't say by far, but I like it the best, but I was probably the least proficient in that sport.
Well, and of course, we didn't have those. You didn't have that opportunity.
No high school baseball back then. That really put us behind the 8 ball when we started the Legion program in the summer because we were on our first season. Most of those other kids had a season in. You know, 20 games or so.
That's a tremendous advantage.
2 balls and 1 strike to Deppies. The tying run is on second base for North. They trail at 5-4. We're in the bottom of the 6th. In a key game for the Raiders. They need a win tonight to stay within a half game of Green Bay Notre Dame. Do you know who Notre Dame is playing tonight?
I was afraid you'd ask me that, Mike.
And I take that to mean no. I don't know for sure. Deppies drives the ball hard to left center field, racing over his Boast. He makes the catch. They're going to fire back in the second, and it's going to be a double play. Becker not doing a smart thing on the bases. Got to wait, go halfway and wait and see if he catches it. Well, that ends the inning for North. They're not out of it. They still have the 7th, but at the end of 6 complete, it's 5-4, Green Bay Southwest.
When you think of the reasons people end up in the ER, you probably wouldn't think of West Nile virus from mosquitoes, asthma attacks from cockroaches, hantavirus from rodents, or Lyme disease from ticks. Even bites from fire ants and other stinging insects send 500,000 people here every year. But you could make a difference in helping to protect your family from pest-related illnesses. Go to pestworld.org to learn how. Why wait until there's an emergency?
Recycling Magic Take 3.
Would you believe this chair was given a new look from an old sweater? It's easy. Just take an old sweater and staple a gun to the bottom of a seat cushion, add a fresh coat of paint, screw it back on, and you've recycled an old sweater into something new. Here's something else you can recycle: old rechargeable batteries from cordless phones, power tools, and other cordless products. It's easy and it helps protect the environment.
Answer the call to recycle your old rechargeable batteries. Visit us online or call toll-free to learn more.
A new pitcher in the game, Coach Bass, is in for the Raiders, and I'm sure there have been some other defensive changes. I think Schmidt's moving over to short, and Gardner moving over to second, and Lienhard is out of the game. Well, it'll be interesting to see what Bass can do here. He needs to shut him down, give North an opportunity in the bottom of the 7th. North will send up the bottom part of the order. It's going to be tough for him. For Southwest in the top of the 7th, they start off with their leadoff hitter, Ryan Pigeon. Pigeon is 1 for 2.
Yeah, he's been an offensive threat tonight, and as we said earlier, ran himself out of business on the base paths, but he's been getting on base.
That pitch
sounded pretty good.
Sounded like a strike, looked like a strike, but it was called a ball. That evens the count at 1-1. That pitch is high. Now we're at 2-1. We're in the top of the 7th. North trails it Line drive out to Schmitz. He makes the easy catch. So Bass retiring the first Southwest hitter he faces, and that brings up Andy Boast, who made really an outstanding play out in center field. And it reminds me when I was doing the plate in that second Southwest doubleheader, he had 2 really nice plays in the outfield in that game.
Well, that was impressive, and he had the presence to take his time and set himself before he threw the ball back in for the double play.
He's a defensive force out there, that's for sure. It's a little chopper. Reschke coming in and fires across for the out, but I think they're ruling a foul ball. Ball hit off the, probably off a Boast. What's Bass's first name, Ellen? Brian Bass. Yeah. Forgot to look. Nothing major. That pitch evens the count at 1-1.
So now we have to decide if Brian Bass is a keeper.
Yeah. Ball's popped up on the infield. Wilsing with the one-handed catch, and 2 are gone. Is he a largemouth or a smallmouth?
He's trying to get someone to bite on a curve.
we got a million of them, don't we? None of them very good,
no.
But we like them. That's all that counts. We're not sure what the count is, but we know Vanderland's got a strike on him for sure. Pitch just a touch outside.
He throws pretty well. Sets himself pretty well.
2 balls and 1 strike. Now Vanderland started that big 6th inning, coach, when he was hit by a pitch. He's 0 for 2 in the game, but
they got it all rolling.
Hard ball to bouncing ball to Schmitz. Picks it up and throws, but not in time. I don't think they'd have had him even if he picks the ball up cleanly. But Ellen rules it a hit, so I will too. Now when you look out there, Coach, Mitchell Gardner, the starting shortstop, is over at second, and Schmitz, the starting pitcher, is at his normal position, I would say. Shortstop.
Yeah.
He looks to be more at what we'd call a normal shortstop spot.
That is better.
Bass fires that one in for a strike. Five to 4. We're in the top of the 7th. Southwest leads it after trailing 3-0. You know, the other thing about that 3-run 6th is they had the bases loaded with nobody out. North was fortunate enough to get 2 outs without a run scoring, and that's when Southwest went to work.
Yeah, we thought they were home free there, or close to it, and didn't work out for them.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on Perez, and that ends the inning. And we're to the bottom of the 7th. North needs a run to tie, 2 to win. And it'll be interesting to see if Ives stays out there to pitch or if they bring in.
Well, Vanderland's going out.
And he's going back to his shortstop's position, so Ives is going to remain as the pitcher. Why not?
Let's play a game. Let's pretend you own an apartment building and I want to rent from you. I make a good salary, have a good credit history. Would you rent your place to me? How about now? Do you still like me? What if I have an accent or a disability? What if I'm a single parent? Would you steer me away? Would you close the door? Would you?
The Fair Housing Act protects your right to live where you want. If you think you've been discriminated against, call us.
Back at Wildwood Baseball Park, and Southwest getting ready for the bottom of the 7th. They lead it 5-4. North will be bringing up the bottom part of the order. Brad Schmitz, Mitchell Gardner, and Nathan Hummich. And between the three of them, they're 0 for 6 with 3 strikeouts.
Well, the key is how well Ives can get the ball over the plate now, and maybe we can get a runner on and create a little action in the infield.
He did walk Peter Reschke in the 6th, only his second walk of the game. So maybe he is tiring a little bit. Ives' delivery is outside for ball 1. Brad Schmitz hit into a fielder's choice in the 1st and struck out in the 4th. Takes that pitch inside. I was umping a JV game a couple weeks ago and pitch rode inside, and all the kids on the bench yell out, "We got ice." In other words, let it hit you. We got ice. Two and 0 is the count. Key point in the ball game, and actually a key point in the whole Fox River Valley race. North needs to win this one to stay within striking distance of Green Bay Notre Dame, who leads the conference. Schmitty takes that one for a strike. 2 and 1 is the count. All infielders are back. If Schmitty could bunt one down the line, he would have a base hit, I think, Coach.
I think the third baseman's been pretty deep most of the day, and no matter what the situation.
3 and 1 now. Ives in the windup. Got the call on that pitch. Look low. But that loads it up at 3 and 2. Now here's where you got to be able to battle.
Big, yep. So we want this base runner.
Brad fouls that one off. Ives and Schmitz in a key matchup here in the bottom of the 7th. North trails at 5-4. This is when the game really gets exciting, Coach.
This is good.
Pitch is outside. Good eye by Brad Schmitz, and he draws the leadoff walk. This might be one of the few times where Coach might want to bunt.
Lay one down.
But I think Coach Jagler is going to make the switch right now and bring in Vanderlyn. I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. Craig Walters trotting in. There you see Coach John Jagler talking to his pitcher, and they are going to leave him in, Coach.
Yeah, and Chris has got the runner over there, and Craig Walters over there, the first base coach. And
Mitchell Gardner is the hitter. Mitch is 0 for 2, was called out in the 2nd and popped to short in the 4th. Actually, he hit that pop-up down the left field line that Vanderlyn raced over and made a real nice play on, robbing Mitchell of a base hit. Schmidt's taking a conservative lead at first. Gardner not showing bunt, took that first pitch for a strike.
Appeared to be somewhat inside.
Yeah, could even been up and in. That pitch looked pretty good.
That was better.
Ives coming right at him. No balls and 2 strikes. Mitchell needs the battle now. He swings and misses, strike 3. And Welch, again, not fearing the base runner, fires down to first, but getting back in is Schmitz. Now we have 1 out and one runner on. Nathan Hummich up.
Well, the third baseman's finally come in a little bit for him.
Well, he did. I thought he came in one other time when Hummich was up. And that was the time, I think, when Hummich bunted it.
Bunted it, yeah.
Yeah, but it was right back to the pitcher. Hummich takes a strike. He showed bunt, but then took the pitch.
Yeah, he committed awfully early to the bunt position, and maybe it was going to be a straight sacrifice.
On deck is Alex Binder. Hummich, not a good rip at that one, Coach.
Yeah, he opened up early. They're getting way ahead of that pitch.
Yeah, that's one of those. I think, that's part of the advantage the lefty has on a lefty hitter. And he strikes out Hummich. Ives getting tough when he needed to.
Yeah, that's impressive. He's working him well. He set him up for that.
That brings up Alex Binder. Binder is 0 for 3. Popped out to the pitcher in the first, struck out in the second, and flew out to right in the 5th. Schmitz getting a conservative lead at first. Pitches down low. Ryan Schmitz, you'd like to get him up to the plate, Coach. He's the on-deck hitter. He's 1 for 3.
That's the key, and we get 2 people on for him, set the table.
Right, and he's a pretty good clutch hitter, too. Sometimes you get those guys that really focus a lot better when the pressure's on, and they just become a more effective hitter. Binder didn't look good on that swing. It's 1-1. Welsh getting his equipment together, tying a shoelace at home plate. Well, you got to be impressed by Eric Ives. He's really done the job.
Yeah, really, I think for a young pitcher without a lot of experience, he's impressed us today.
2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Brad Schmitz on it first. North trails it by a run. And Binder takes a beautiful curveball for strike 2. Southwest fans are hooting it up down below us.
Yeah, they got a fair contingent, long drive.
Binder pops that one up off the screen. Foul. So far in the ball game, Eric Ives has struck out 6 batters and walked 2. Make that 3 with the walk here to Schmitz in the 7th. Breaking ball gets Binder, and that's the ball game. And
struck out the side. Huh?
Struck out the side is right. That hurts North's chances. They're not out of it mathematically, but they're going to have to get a lot of help to catch Green Bay Notre Dame. There you see it. That's the final score, 5-4. We're going to do the wrap-up right now, Coach. Your thoughts on the ball game?
Well, obviously you can't be too impressed with the offensive display that the Golden Raiders put on today. As you said early, they did a little damage and then took a nap for 5 or 6 innings. So that hurt. I think, again, if you get people on base and make them throw the ball around a little bit, you can create some runs for yourself. But we didn't have a lot of base runners.
After North collected 3 hits in the first, Eric Ives limited North over the final 6 innings to 1 hit. And like you mentioned, Coach, that was the difference. Ryan Schmidt suffered the loss for North. Eric Ives was the winner. Hitting stars for Southwest was Joe Perez with a 2-for-4 effort, including a double and 2 runs scored. But probably the key hit in the game was Mason Lieberger, a pinch hitter with 2 outs in the 6th, getting that clutch 2 RBI single that made a 3-3 game into a 5-3 game, and Southwest rode that hit to a 5-4 win.
Well, you had indicated before that you thought he was a pretty good hitter, and then coming off the bench and able to put the bat on the ball, they're very aggressive hitters. Swung at a lot of first pitches. Bobby Dean did the same thing when he came off the bench, and that aggressiveness paid off for Southwest.
Our next broadcast is going to be next Tuesday when North plays South. It's a 7 o'clock game, and we'll be doing that. Coach Richards won't be with me for that game. We'll have to get somebody else, but that's going to do it for this afternoon's game. One more time, Green Bay Southwest wins it by a score of 5-4. For the crew and my partner Bill Richards, I'm Mike Martin saying, so long everybody, thanks for watching, and we'll see you down the road.